First they came for the redheads, and I did not protest because I was not a redhead. And then they started taking away roles from people who already had difficult lives and really could have used a good role to make their lives that much easier. So as you may or may not have heard, the new Disney Snow White movie leaked. And there's something kind of missing from it, because the original version was Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. And the new version, it's Snow White and a bunch of randos and a dwarf, not seven. No, I couldn't care less about what color Snow White is. I mean, you know, I think it would be more authentic if, you know, the person looked like the description, but, you know, whatever. It's not a big deal for me. It's not like it's hard for white people to get work in Hollywood, you know? It's not like offensive, it's just like, oh, maybe it wasn't the best casting choice, maybe it wasn't totally authentic, you know? But I mean, there's worse things that can happen. It does actually bother me, though, that they replaced the little people. All but one of them. Because it is actually hard to get jobs as a little person in Hollywood, unless you're playing a specifically little person role. So to, I don't know how to call this, to big wash 6 little person roles and make them into big person roles, that's actually really bad, because it makes it just that much harder for a working actor who happens to be little to, you know, like, I don't know, do things like pay rent and whatever, you know. So that's a problem. And this is getting blamed on Peter Dinklage, and it might be his fault, because, you know, he seems to have decided that he wanted to be a... And he said some things that indicate to me that I'm honestly not convinced he's ever watched the original Disney movie. Because he said that the dwarves are, like, problematic and they live in a cave, and that's, like, wrong on both counts. We'll start with the live in a cave thing. No, they don't live in a cave in the original. They live in a very nice house. That's Snow White when she is a refugee, which is, yeah, that's nice. It's a movie that teaches people to be kind to refugees. Which, considering it was made in the 1930s, actually makes a lot of sense. Even if those weren't Disney's personal views, even if he was a terrible person, a movie saying be kind to refugees in the 1930s was a good thing. Kind of like it is now, when there's once again lots of refugees. Thanks, Obama. But, anyhow. Actually, thanks, Biden. Well, actually, Obama started it. Come on. Look what he did in Libya, for crying out loud. Turned the wealthiest country in Africa into a failed state and literally brought back the slave trade. Thanks, Obama. You belong in prison for crimes against humanity. Thanks, Obama. But enough of that. We're talking about crimes against art now, not crimes against humanity. But anyhow, Snow White is a refugee. And, she sees this beautiful house, beautiful little house in the woods, and she's like, oh, I wish I could live there. And, you know, she falls asleep there. But ice does not show up, because this is a better world than ours. So instead of getting locked in a cage by ice, what happens is, it turns out the people living in that house are nice. Because they are the titular 7 dwarves, who are very good people. They're kind, they're sympathetic. And even though, you know, Snow White is a refugee who doesn't appear to have any skills or whatever, they just let her live there. Like, cause why? Because she needs a home, that's why. Not because they're hoping to profit from it or whatever, but because, you know, she needs a home. And they're very decent people that way. They just like, she needs a home? Okay, we give her a home. This refugee needs a house? We'll open our home to her. And then while they're away doing, you know, big strong man work in the mines. I'm saying that, but it's not really problematic because Snow White doesn't do anything like problematic. So they're away in the mines. And then what does Snow White do? Well, she's like, well, no, these people are really nice. They help me out. I should actually try to be nice to them. You know, I could help out around the house. I really could. And so she does. And she, like, cleans up the place, makes it all pretty. I think she cooks something, I assume. I don't remember. And then all the animals of the forest help her out. Because they're nice, too. Because she has that effect on people. That's Snow White's superpower, is getting people around her to be nice. Which is a pretty cool superpower. I mean, if I could get the birds of this city to, you know, like, help me clean my apartment, I'd be real happy. That'd be a really good superpower, actually. And then later on, you know, stuff happens, and the dwarves save the day. The prince literally just shows up at the end to, you know, to kiss the girl. But, he doesn't defeat the witch, no. This isn't like The Little Mermaid where the prince defeats the witch, no. Dwarves do it. The dwarves, the kind, virtuous, sympathetic dwarves, are the heroes. And, they do all the work. Except for the, you know, what Snow White does when she decides to help out around the house and with the animals' help, you know. And that's fine. And you know what? That part is not problematic. I know when someone's going to say, well, we need a more feminist version where Snow White, like, goes into the mines and gets, like, it gets black lung. But no, I mean, come on, don't be silly. Someone who's not used to being a miner, which Snow White, you know, being a princess probably wasn't used to working in the mines, would just be a liability if she went down into the mines. That's not a gender thing. I'm not saying women can't be exploited in coal mines. But I'm saying that, you know, I'm saying that a princess probably doesn't have a lot of skills that make them useful to a coal miner or a diamond, gem, whatever miner, like the dwarves are in this story. But she might be good at cleaning up around the house, you know. So it just makes sense. You know, do what you can, do what's in your wheelhouse. And you know what? If someone takes you into their home out of the goodness of their heart, you should help out around the house. You just should, because that's the least you can do. Like, when I'm a guest somewhere, I do my best to clean up after myself. And, you know, if I see an opportunity to help out, I will. Because, you know, because I want to be a good guest. It's not a gender thing. Anyhow. That's the story. And, I think it's actually a very good story for, you know, little people, because, you know, it's Snow White and the 7 little people heroes who save the day. And, that gives little people positive representation. And it would also be very nice if there were 7 little people actors who got a good job making a movie people might actually like. Which, I mean, they could make a movie like that. They probably won't, because, I mean, it's modern Disney, but they could. There's no good reason they couldn't make a good movie. They just don't. But, yeah. Anyhow, it makes me sad. Just wanted to share that. And, that's the Vanya.